Oh, shit. Hang on. What's up, y'all? Just here with another video. Gonna talk about my microdosing. Here, give me a second to go on this microphone real quick. Here we go. So I got these microphones because my screen's broken and somehow the microphone got messed up. It's probably getting wet. Tonight's a little wet, so I'm just up here on this pretty awesome little outlook over here of the bay. Let me get this microphone set up real quick. But gonna talk today, man. I've been we found a whole bunch of Amanita, fly agaric, Amanita mascaria, uh, and Amanita mascaria, and I've been wanting to mess with it for a while now. So it's got abitonic acid and muscimol are like the main things talked about in fly agaric. It's grown in the wild, and it grows in the wild around here, which is pretty sweet. Like we found some big ass mushrooms, like over 10 pounds worth of fly agaric the other night in the night, just with a flashlight. It was pretty sweet. You know, they just like show up out in the middle of nowhere. It's like pretty cool. It's like pretty trippy and shit. Sorry about the swearing, but I'll try to cut it out. But so we've been taking that home and drying it out under heat, and the whole theory about the Amanita muscaria is that ibotonic acid is bad for humans. It can put people in. I have heard from a credible source, through a credible source, that she spoke with somebody specifically that was put into a coma. Her belief was that she was put into a coma by too much Amanita muscaria, and I don't know how she prepared it, what she did, what the circumstances were. So everything is so undocumented and so unofficial and so unreported, so unscientific. So it's really hard to understand what to do. So or how to handle it, or if you even should delve into it. But I'm totally interested in it. I'm very excited, and I'm going to start with small doses and work my way up. The mushroom itself is delicious. Like it tastes delicious. It looks amazing. Like if it was ever in a grocery store, it would easily be the most amazing thing in the grocery store. There's nothing else like it. It's beautiful. It tastes delicious. I've eaten it raw. I've eaten it dried and then boiled and then raw. I've eaten it dried, raw, and every way that I've eaten it, it's the best mushroom that I've ever eaten. And so I'm super curious just about how to take it through the whole cycle of picking it, probably heat drying it, and then boiling it and then eating it, all like for breakfast or all for like in a meal. Because I've been mixing it for 2 or 3 days now with my coffee, and it's bomb coffee, man. It's freaking awesome. It's got like a very mushroom flavor. It's really blowing my mind. Like it's really like blowing my mind. There's a lot about this that's blowing my mind. It's the best tasting mushroom that I've ever had. The coffee, mushroom tea, mushroom coffee tastes delicious. I'm gonna start reducing the coffee and hopefully adding more amanita and have more of a mushroom flavor and less of the caffeine, or maybe just get caffeine free coffee. But it's definitely drinkable. It's definitely good. I want to sell it. But so as far as like the effects and the effects of cycling, so I'm like I said, I'm totally excited about exploring this. But I think muscimol and alcohol are very closely related. I think in however far back in history, if it's even history at all, it probably still could be going on in like all over the world. and I could see why. I don't know why it wouldn't be after even just a little bit that I've dipped my toes in. Is muscimol has the same effect on the same brain receptors as alcohol does, GABA. And I'm not the one to be talking about all the scientific stuff. I listen to it, I understand enough to be safe and to learn my boundaries. But you can talk to my partner, Carissa, about that more, or get into a community that wants to talk more along those lines, of scientific lines and everything. The talk itself isn't the conversation that I'm here to have. So I somewhat avoid it, but I think it backs everything that I'm doing. So that's I go with that. But I think alcohol was the poor man's amanita, the poor man's muscimol. Alcohol was the poor man's muscimol. Uh, I totally have like the the feeling that it gives is pretty subtle. What you guys got going on in here?
How are you today?
I thought nobody was here anymore.
Yeah, I was working the field.
Oh, okay.
The bottle there. Okay, good day.
You have a good night, man. And so what I've experienced so far is that it's very subtle, and probably because of um, the dose that I'm taking is a microdose, so it's pretty minimal. 3 grams. We did 15-gram mushroom, which is a big mushroom dried, and some guy going to work over here. But that is what a microdose is for this particular mushroom, according to um, the common knowledge out there, the scientific body out there. So I've felt not tired and not sleepy, just lull. Like, I don't know, like the sound of lull. And by maybe my talkativeness, like my socialness has, I'm not hesitant to talk, I just don't feel compelled to talk. And I'm not lethargic either, because I've just been riding today, and like, man, I feel just like very calm, and hard efforts weren't very hard. Like, they felt a lot easier. Not easier, just like I just like very plainly did them, very just very plainly did it. It stayed in the seat, and my breath has yet to like get out of control, or my heart rate. Like, my heart rate hasn't started racing, and just very, when I've had to speak, I feel like I've been speaking pretty eloquently and pretty much getting across my point and in the way that I've been wanting to get it across. So it can be very similar to alcohol, but not as cheap. No side effects, no hangover. Um, I just, I don't know why that's like come to me like that. Alcohol was the poor man's muscimol. And there's even stories from people who have researched this. I watched a guy's, um, not a webinar, but just a seminar. He wrote a book called Fly Agaric, and he does talks, of course, about his book, like most authors do, podcasts and stuff. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. He never really overtly says that he even uses it in any way. He just talks about that he's had an interest in it for his whole life and everything, and it's been his life work. And he said that in Asia, it was known that um, the whole process in dealing with ingesting Amanita muscaria is reducing or changing the ibotenic acid to muscimol, and you have to heat it to do that. And so every time it's heated, a little bit more is changed. It's not, I don't know if it's reduced. There's a that carboxylated or whatever. There's actual like a chemical element of it that changes with heat, and that turns it into muscimol. And so you that Might have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that was the right understanding of it. Is that it's one step away from muscimol. And ibotenic acid seems to be of less use than muscimol, or less desirable historically, traditionally, culturally, to people that consumed it. And so every time that they could do that, they would dry it and then heat it, boil it, and then consume it. And it was even after they urinated it, it had even gone through another step, and it was even more pure muscimol. And so they would take around their own piss. And this was nomadic peoples and people that were reindeer hunters and stuff like that. And they would recapture their own piss and drink their own piss and keep the hunt going, like keep the journey going, to keep themselves going. And there was even known that at parties, rich people would have these amanitas, and poor people would try to get in the pisser and save all their piss, all the rich people's piss, while they were out partying, so that they could have their muscimol as well. So that's pretty interesting. The whole story, how that even came about. I assume that it's got some credibility or some sort of truth to it, um, just on how I felt like it was presented. That there's some sort of truth to that. Um, so it led me to believe that if hunters and people in cold weather, because these mushrooms grow in colder climates, used these mushrooms for energy and for war and for hunting, that they're not just some lazy mushroom. They're not just something for dreams. They're not just something for sleep. Like there's something to that, because war was everything. War was the proving ground for everything in back in the day. So like you wouldn't be taking something that would screw you over in battle. So it has to have some sort of energetic feeling. So I'm certainly enjoying doing it with cycling, because I think cycling is like the modern day proving ground for anything like this nature. And it's been pretty amazing so far. Tonight I did some B positive, so 250 milligrams of B positive, and we're about to go back to Texas. So I'm not going to be able to. I'm not trying to do anything illegal. I don't do well. This is just decriminalized. That's a whole other subject. It's not. It's not legal technically, and you definitely need to be very clear about that. Understand what that means and understand what you're doing in regards to that. But I'm not trying to like sell this or bring this anywhere or anything like that. So, but Amanita muscaria is only illegal in Louisiana for whatever reason, and maybe one other state, but not any state in between here in Texas. And so I will be cutting some up and taking it with us. I'll be bringing my bike, I'll probably be riding around, hopefully somewhere in the desert. I've always wanted to ride my bike around on some roads out in the desert that I've driven on. Um, and probably ride some around in Dallas, maybe in Abilene when I get back out there. Um, but my goal, and I'm documenting all this. I've published my own journal book specifically for microdosing, and I'm going to be making that a little bit more public here. I got some revisions on it that I'm waiting to be done, but I'm already in my second book. So 31 days of journaled microdosing with Amanita muscaria and various psychedelic mushrooms. Um, I use a lot of terms that I use traditionally. I'm not like super into like the science terms and everything. Like I tried to, and I'm somewhat interested in it, but so I'm kind of back and forth on that. I don't even think of it as a medicine, and I think it's just basically a food. And I want to like normalize how easily you can use these foods and these plant, animal, fungi, quasi beings to power your life, and just to enjoy your life, and to enjoy life in general, enjoy the world that God's given us and the creation that God's given us, and enjoy these things that were put on this earth for our use and for tools in our life, and for just just enjoyment. I mean, like everybody's trying to define things and get over problems and solve depressions and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, just enjoy your life. Just let these things let you enjoy your life and learn how to fit them into your life in a way that you're comfortable and in a way that you want. Whatever, man. Like it's everybody's got like this whole medication concept, and I don't want to have a conversation like that. It's like it's not like that to me. Like this is like bananas. Like this is like a cup of coffee. Like these are like meals, and I want to make them that way. And I'm so glad and fortunate that I'm in the situation that I'm in with the person that I'm in, the partner that I'm with, and just where I'm at in life. I feel blessed, and I this is God's timing, perfect timing, and I believe in perfect timing and perfect outcomes. And so I'm just like exceedingly thankful right now, and it's feeling exceedingly blessed. And I want to share this with everybody, um, because I'm not sure that there's anything else out there like what I'm trying to do. So I hope you enjoy it. I put some questions in the comments. I'll have some dialogue with you. I'm not a medical professional. I have access to the leading professionals, quote unquote, the leading professionals, some of the leading minds and the leading people that are trailblazing in this community. And I can ask them. I can get like some real world answers instead of like having to look stuff up on the internet or go through the YouTube route, because I've already found so many discrepancies from places and sources that seem really credible. And like I feel like I've already in just this 30 months, 30 days of journaling and actually truly microdosing and knowing what I'm microdosing, and knowing the quantities and its consistent product. Like I feel like I've debunked a lot of it. And you can tell people that aren't really doing what they say they're what they're preaching. They're just kind of regurgitating some material they've read, which is great. And like any interest, I'm here to like scrutinize anybody, but like I'm definitely here to do my thing and play my part and to contribute what I'm here to contribute to. So there's that too. And I feel totally comfortable with what I'm doing, and I'm excited about it. And everybody should use their own precaution and be adults. You're adults, just like everybody in this damn country, man. Like you are in control of yourself, and you need to be your own, make your own decisions, and you need to research things that you do, just like anything in your life, man. Um, be a grown up, and this is for grown ups to do. I don't necessarily, I'm not advocating anything for kids. I'm not saying that it's bad for kids, and I can't say that it was. I definitely took it recklessly, and luckily nobody got hurt. But I don't necessarily think that it was a bad thing. I definitely don't think it was detrimental to my health. I was a very healthy child and very robust body and very clear, very. I was a very healthy child, even though I was some of the other things that I was doing. And once again, I don't smoke weed. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not interested in any other psychedelics other than mushroom derived experience, or it has to be purely plant based or fungus based, fungi, and with very little human manipulation. Um, I'm not a person that trusts science. Um, every day I'm reminded like how much precaution you need to have when dealing with scientific research. Um, just real quick before I wrap this up, just to talk about the ibotenic acid. The reason that it's said to be poisonous or has any kind of bad name, to my knowledge, the scientific reason is because they use it to cause lesions in mice and rats on their brains. For whatever reasons that scientists need to cause lesions, and it's extremely effective to cause these lesions on their brain. Well, this is through a syringe directly onto the brain. So like has absolutely nothing to do with how the human body processes these things, and how the blood, how it's received in the blood and how it's circulated in the body. It's just ridiculous. Like it's got some relevance, and it should be listened to, and you should be able to take it into account, and you should. But that's science, like that's research. They take a syringe, inject something onto the brain of a rat, and then claim that it's not healthy for a human. And, you know, I'm sure that there's been many breakthroughs with this kind of research, and probably many, maybe some that I've benefited from directly. So I can't say that it's just nothing. Like, I respect everybody in their work, and humans are capable of amazing things. But that's research, and like, you got to make decisions based on things like that, and based on, just kind of anecdotal evidence. And you got to make sure, people, when they're saying that these experiences have happened, have they been documented? Is this person saying that these experiences have been documented, like these overdoses or whatever, like they've been documented, or they know this person personally, or they experienced it, they were with them? Or is it just stuff that they've heard through somebody that heard it, who supposedly was with this person? So be smart out there. um I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm comfortable with it, and I'm comfortable with the pace that I'm doing it, and I'm documenting everything, and I'm being as responsible as possible. But I definitely want to share my experience, so that's what these videos are about. This one's about 20 minutes, about the longest I've made one. It's definitely a good one. I'm going to get back to riding. It's night out. um Hope you guys enjoy these. uh More to come.